Okay, here we are. Welcome, CK fans. Comics Karma, of course. Yeah, I like to sing once in a while.
Beautiful voice.
Why, thank you. Actually, when I like to sing, I like to sound like Bruce Springsteen. Yeah. Comics Karma, CK, man. How y'all doing? Yeah, I actually met Bruce along about 7 or 8 years ago. He's the coolest guy, man. It's great to hang out with him and say, "How you doing, Bruce?" "I'm fine, man. How you doing?" So, great. Thank you so much. Baby, born to run. As I said to him, I said, "Kenny, we're born to run there."
He speaks in his song titles.
Sure, yeah. You were born to run, weren't you, John? Think about Bruce. Every time he talks, he sounds like he's got to go to the bathroom. Okay, Bruce, where am I? Got to take a pee. Oh, you're dancing in the dark in the bathroom.
Turn the lights on.
Turn the lights on. Oh boy! So there we go. So as you know, we all like to all have fun here at Comics Karma. Had some pretty amazing comedians the past 11 shows, and we have more coming. I'll tell you that in the next couple of weeks after you know. But the man you just heard laughing to my Bruce Springsteen was Steve Mazan. Great to have him here today. But the great thing about my shows that I learn so much about life and how people live, especially if you're a comedian, actor, writer. You know, so many strange things happened. You know, I was inspired to do my podcast through a book I wrote, which is What's a Little Wind. And I was just mentioning to people the past couple weeks and to Steve right now, but a man that I met during Hurricane Andrew 1992. I'm in the elevator, and he's an old Jewish man. And I said, "How you doing, sir?" And he goes, "I'm fine. How are ya?" I go, "Did you hear about the 200-mile-an-hour winds coming towards Hurricane Andrew's coming towards us?" And he goes, "Hurricane Schmurricane." Why is he saying Hurricane Schmurricane? "Sir, we could be dying. We're right on the ocean in Miami, Florida. There's the biggest hurricane in the world coming towards us. Why don't you care?" And he goes, "You never advised many years ago, son." I go, "No, sir. Where were you many, many years ago?" And I thought he was going to joke with me. I thought he was going to say Cleveland or, you know, in the bedroom hanging out with his wife, whatever. I go, "No, sir." And he looks at me and he goes, "Auschwitz." I go, "Oh boy, what am I going to say to that?" I go, I just didn't know what to say. And then he looks at me and he goes, "Let me show you something, son." Yep, he shows me the numbers that Hitler gave him. No, I didn't know what to say. And everything started hitting me right there. I said, man. Then, before the elevator comes to his floor, he just looks at me with a wink in his eye. And he goes, "What's a little wind? What's a little wind?" And he goes, "Have a good life, son." He leaves. I never saw the guy ever, 22, 23 years later. So that inspired me to write a book. And the book is about, you know, being healthy and, you know, inspiration and the way you look at life and all that. And I named the book What's a Little Wind? And you can find that through Barnes & Noble. You can find it through Amazon. You can go through my website, what'salittlewind.com, a few other things. But that inspired me to do a podcast. What also inspired me, being a comedian for, almost 30 years now. I started off when I was a kid in Rochester, New York. I was in Rochester a year ago. Now, this is August of last year, hanging out with my mom, talking about my book and some friends. My brother calls me and says, "Hey, John, you know who died?" "No." "You're not going to believe it." "Well, who?" "Robin Williams." I was so upset and I was so depressed that happened because like millions of people, everyone loved Robin. Everyone did. But he had health issues and obviously he couldn't deal with it. So that again inspired me to talk about why health is wealth. I know I mentioned that in my few podcasts in between, but That really is. And some of the people that were on my show, I'll kind of give you the message behind them. Perry Kurtz, very well-known comedian for the past 40 years. Heavily into drinking, quit because he almost died. Danny McDermott, major booker in New York City, helped start careers like Jim Gaffigan, Mark Maron, Lisa Caponelli, a few other great comedians. Survived a mugging, stabbed from his girlfriend. Lenny Schmidt, has been around for many, many years. A good friend of mine, getting through major health issues like bone grafts. Not being able to walk, but he does. Henrietta Cormras had major issues with her health, mental health, depression, and believe it or not, I never knew this. Parents survived Auschwitz. I never knew that until I did my podcast, and I met her 40, 50 times before, but she didn't bring it up until I asked her. Grace Fraga, bad relationships, issues that turn into bad health, horrible moods. Ended up on the Steve Harvey Show. Great selling book. Now he has a development deal. Steve Wilson got through kidney stones. Of course, he works on D.L. Hughley as the co-host. Drugs, alcohol, being broke. Again, health. He got through it. Destiny Smith, drugs, alcohol, going through other health issues. Now married with 2 kids. Wonderful girl. She was on Johnny Carson, a lot of other shows the past 30, 40 years. Rich Scheidner, of course, everyone knows Rich. Saw friends pass away on stage from heroin, cocaine, not staying healthy, car crashes, drinking, and all that kind of thing. It's just insane. TK, I didn't know TK for 14, 15 years have cerebral palsy. I didn't know he had cerebral palsy. I always wondered why he limped. He said he had it as a child, but he finally got through it, now married. Gene Pompa, good buddy of mine, hung out with him at the Improv all the time, losing his good friend, Greg Giraldo, to drugs and depression. Gene kind of got into it a little bit, but got through it. Fraser Smith, of course, a 45-year icon here in Los Angeles, KLOS, K-Rock, and so on. One of the great comedians, a good friend of mine. One of the only comedians on my show that did not really have health issues, but he did get into drugs and all that, but a short time. Now he doesn't do that at all. No, he gets his high from making people laugh and doing this radio show, which is on KLOS, Sundays from 10 to 2. A little plug for you, Fraser. So the whole point, and, that people have to understand is the important words in life. Health is wealth. That's something my mom told me, actually, my whole life. It's just amazing. You could have millions in the bank, the mansions, the private jets, the vacations, all that. But if you have a major health issue like cancer or a disability, it means nothing. Nothing. Health is wealth. That's why I'm so blessed to have my guest today, Steve Mazan, Emmy Award winner from The Ellen Show, touring top headliner, produced a movie called Dying for Letterman, and the best thing, a cancer survivor. Amazing. Welcome, Steve Mazan. How you doing, Steve?
Good to be here. Dying to do Letterman's the name of the movie. Just so you know. Yeah.
There you go.
I wouldn't die for Letterman.
Oh, dying to do Letterman.
Dying to do Letterman. Yeah. Just so people look it up. They can find it easy.
Okay. The dying for Letterman might be a little bit more funny. I threw it in there. Dying for Letterman.
Letterman.
Yeah, dying for Letterman.
Dying for you, Dave.
Dying for me, is that it, Steve? Yeah. Paul.
Paul, someone's dying
Paul,
for
someone's
me.
dying for me. Yeah.
That's great, Dave.
Hi, Dave. Yeah. Let's do a song. Dying for Letterman. Dying tonight. Oh, man. So that is so cool that you work with Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
I
I wrote for a daytime show for a season, and that's we won an Emmy that year for for the writing. So yeah, it's nice.
It's amazing.
Amazing. She's one of the great comics ever. So one of the highlights of my life is her telling, seeing her on stage, telling a joke I wrote, doing a monologue I wrote. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah. I put her in the top 10 comedians of all time. So to see her doing, again, something I wrote, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. I loved Ellen ever since she started doing comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I love blonde hair, blue eyed girls. So I kept looking.
She was in your wheelhouse anyway.
She was in I kept looking at her and said, "My God, she's so cute and funny."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my gosh."
I got bad news, John.
Yeah, I know.
She's off the market.
Yeah,
and
I
you
found
never
that
had
out.
a chance.
I had no chance. Damn it.
It wasn't your fault though. You were born wrong for this. That's okay.
Oh man, I hate that. But she was cool. But when I first met you a couple weeks ago, I told you I did 2 commercials.
Yeah, right.
Her.
You were 2 commercials.
2 commercials, man. I can't believe it. Yeah, with American Express and JCPenney.
Yeah.
And here I am, man, hanging out with Ellen.
Right.
And I've loved her for 20 years beforehand. This is just a few years ago I did this.
Yeah.
And there she is. And
it's crazy, huh?
It's crazy. And I ended up seeing it was a national commercial. Of course, they did very well financially for the American Express, and they had some great people in there. And then of course, just a few years later, I do JCPenney. And there she is again. It's like, hey, Ellen. So I said hi to her for a few times. She was really cool. Said hi to me back, and I said, we did American Express. Oh, that was nice.
Yeah.
The same director, everything.
Oh, really? Yeah, same director. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, same director.
He's an auteur. Likes to work with the same people, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm telling you, seriously.
Get me John. I'm pulling out. He was great on that American Express.
Yeah, let's just use him again for the JCPenney thing.
Cast.
Yeah.
Get him in there.
So, yeah, actually it was for Hungry Man Productions. His name is Brian. Is the director. He's a cool guy, man. She was great. But, it was fantastic. And how did you get into comedy? I mean, it's what age were you, and what inspired you to
I
make people
think
laugh?
a couple things. One, staying up and watching Johnny Carson when I was a kid. My parents, would always watch him, and then Letterman came on all of a sudden after him, and then I was like, oh, wow, who's this guy? And my parents hated him, and I loved him. I was like, oh. So I would see those guys were hilarious, and the comics he'd have on were hilarious. But I always it just seemed like I didn't realize it was a thing you could really do. I'd only seen people do, 5 minutes of a stand-up comedy on a show. So I didn't realize it was really a viable career choice until we got cable when I was 12. And like almost the first week, I think I discovered a Richard Pryor live concert, and I was probably too.
Oh yeah, the one at the
definitely
Sunset Strip, maybe.
It wasn't live at Sunset Strip. Okay. It was just called I think live in concert.
Right.
And he's got the red shirt, black pants. That's the one. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
He's I saw that, and that was the first time it hit me. I was like, "Oh, you can make a living doing that? You could get up and talk about your life and make fun of it and do that. That's not just you go on a talk show or that. You can actually go to people would pay to go see something like this. And I fell in love with them. And again, not my comedy is nothing like Richard Pryor's, but that kind of so when I was 12, that really took hold. Where I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. It took me a long time to get the cojones to try it. 29 when I started.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. It took a
wow.
long
So
time.
you do,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I thought you started earlier.
No, yeah. So I went to college, was in the Navy for a few years, a lot of other things before, like I said, kind of getting the getting the guts to try it. But yeah, it was always in the back of my head that's what I wanted to do.
No kidding. And then you're from Chicago.
Yeah, grew up in Chicago, out in the suburbs, and kind of those.
What do your parents do? Does your mom and dad do the?
Yeah, my mom worked in a factory my whole life, making plastic stuff like kind of flower pots and stuff like that. And my dad was a glazer, like did glass. Installing glass and stuff like that.
Blowing into it.
No, not that, not the blowing, but just the.
I just wonder how you blow into something and glass comes out.
Just the cutting windows and stuff like that. More than. It's like, hey, why is there a bubble in my window? Stop blowing it. Yeah.
His teeth is your dad. And the stuff's coming out.
No.
That's how you got into comedy. My dad can blow into something with glass. I'm going to make him laugh. That's it. Okay. So.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, just the official title is Glazer, but yeah, he's basically he's a window guy. He's a window guy. Glazer
funny.
sounds like he was I don't know, putting stuff on.
Is it
cakes
Brian
or something.
Glazer,
Right,
the
exactly.
producer? Yeah, no. That's Glazer.
Grazer. In Japan, he's Glazer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Brian Glazer.
Brian Glazer.
Oh, yeah.
That's him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brian Glazer. How we go? You blow glass. You blow now. You crazy. Oh, Godzilla. Oh. Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy.
He's crazy.
Crazy. So then you had brothers and sisters.
Yeah, one of each, both older. Both about 7-8 years older. So yeah, I was kind of I think my parents were done having kids, and then I was like a surprise.
That's enough, yeah.
Yeah. So not a mistake. I don't think they planned me, but they were. Once I was out, they were happy to have me. They were, but I don't think they were planning to have another kid, and I was kind of surprised.
Was your mom and dad or brothers and sister? Are they funny? Are they joke
Both,
around?
yeah,
like my
super
brothers.
funny.
My brother's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but I'm like the funniest guy. I get mine from my mom.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
Yeah.
So, but was your brother and sister?
My whole family's super funny. In fact, I may be the least funny in my family.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're all funny and in different ways. And I think that's kind of what's helped me is I've been able to steal from each of them. Like they all have different senses of humor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
My dad's very silly. He's passed away, but he was very silly. My mom's very sarcastic. My sister's kind of like a big, Eka. My brother's very like subversive, kind of angry, but
Right.
all very funny. So it became quickly. It was valuable in my family to make people laugh. You know what I mean? Like that was our way to whenever anything bad happened, we'd be sad about it for a day, and then the next day we'd start joking about it. So I saw that, how valuable laughter was. So. Like I said, I started, stealing everything from them, learning from them. So it's nice that, I feel like I have a nice repertoire of things to go to. But yeah, they're all very funny.
That's great. Yeah, that's exactly like how I was. I remember making people laugh at freaking 9, 10 years old. Doing faces and voices and teachers and parents and relatives and everything else. And I kept getting laughs. I said, "This is for me. Let's keep doing this."
Yeah, it's first drug. Yeah,
seriously, I was drugged out, man. You know? My friends in junior high school say, "Dude, that's pretty funny, man. You're making fun of the freaking gym teacher."
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, well, that's what I like to do."
Yeah.
But I got into it like around about 22, 23
Yeah,
years old.
So you started, yeah.
Started,
I think that's the right age, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the 20s,
kind of get it
right there.
I think everyone always wishes they started earlier, though. Are you like that, or you think that was a perfect age?
Yeah,
were you like, I wish I would have started when I was 18?
I was joking around at such a young age. You're right. I should have started like 16, 17.
Yeah,
18.
I mean, my nephew just started. He's 18, and I'm like, wow, I wish I was started that young.
Yeah, just a few years before,
Yeah.
But so you're none of your family got into pursuing the comedy.
No. I mean, they're all super funny, but I don't think it never came in. None of them thought to turn. My brother's a musician, so I guess he's a little showbiz wise, but yeah. The rest are just amateur funny.
Were they pretty supportive of you getting into it and everything?
Yeah, I think so. I think
my parents were.
Yeah, I think they were. My mom was very. Midwest, like, oh, that's nice. You want to do that? Get a real job, though.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean. That'll be nice to have that, to fall back on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, and again, I think they know. Listen, what a shot in the dark it is, and to make a bad living at it is hard.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think they were supportive but cautious. You know what I mean? Like they were never like, "Don't do it, you're awful," or anything like that. But just kind of like, "Really? Is that what you want to do?" So, like I said, cautious, but in a
Yeah, my parents did the same thing. My dad was a doctor. Okay.
Oh wow, yeah.
Dad was a cardiologist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, old school. And for the old country, and I got some Italian, Turkish in me, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
Yugoslavian, it's like a little mix there. So it's old school. So he said, "You want to be a comedian? So yeah, Dad. He goes, no, get a real job.
Right.
Seriously,
Yeah.
you know, don't be a doctor like your brother. You know.
Yeah, that wasn't a
Dad. I'm not into studying for the next 10 years. Okay, in school, but
there wasn't. Yeah, there was for people like that. That wasn't even an idea that you could do something like that. So for you to suggest it sounds just crazy to them.
But my mom was more cool. She's like, okay, John, you want to make people laugh? Okay, go. No. You're funny. But get a day job, okay?
Yeah.
So funny. Now you said you were in the Navy, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I went in the Navy right after high school. Get some money for college.
You know what's really cool about being in the Navy is I always loved guys who were in submarines.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't believe that you were in a submarine.
I was on a submarine, yeah. I lived on a submarine for, let's see, after school, probably 4 years straight I lived on a submarine.
4 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I mean, we had barracks when we were in our home port, but yeah, 4 years.
18, right? So 18 to 22.
Well, 18, so there was about a year and a half of schooling, so probably from 19 and a half to 23. Yeah, was probably the actual age of spent that whole time on a submarine.
Did you joke around with the guys down there? Because we were just stuck in a freaking submarine.
Yeah, exactly.
So I can imagine you probably tried out jokes and things, staring at the sharks and fish,
listen,
you know.
I say I didn't start comedy. I didn't start officially till I was 29, but yeah, of course.
You were still making people
just the
laugh.
Same way you were saying you were making people laugh in junior high and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. That the ball busting and making people laugh. And listen, you're stuck in a closed tube underwater.
God.
There's not much to do. So making each other laugh was a big part of it. Yeah, and we had definitely different ways. Like there was someone had wrote a comic strip, so we there was some writing stuff that we do that, or there'd be a little talent show halfway through some of our long runs that we would do, and So
did you have entertainment down there?
We had there was a TV and a VCR.
TV?
Yeah,
really?
So you could obviously not lie. You wouldn't get TV. You couldn't turn on Seinfeld or anything like that and pick up a signal. But you could throw in VHS tapes. So
how many guys were in the submarine?
It ranged from anywhere from like 100 to 120.
Really? Is that many? Mm-hmm. So obviously it was it was a big submarine.
I mean, there's two types of submarines. There's boomers, which is the big, kind of like if you ever seen Crimson Tide, the Denzel Washington movie. Those are the ones that carry the gigantic, ballistic missiles on them.
Oh, right.
So those are the huge ones, and then the ones I was on, it's called a fast attack submarine. So the kind of instead of a big missile, it's kind of the fighting submarine. Battles other submarines or goes in closer to shore and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little hard, but it's still. I mean, it's the size of a football field. So it's not anything tiny.
Oh, wow.
But just it's the smallest submarine of the two. Yeah, it's pretty.
The other
big.
one's even bigger than it.
The other ones, like
two football
three
fields.
times that. Yeah. It's
oh
huge.
wow,
they're
that's huge. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay, I really didn't know they were.
Well, that's the great thing about submarine. All you really see is a little sail sticking up out of the water. It's like an iceberg. Most of it's underwater, so you never even see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you never really, and you don't hear about submarines.
That's our plan. They're stealth. Yeah, right. We
Seriously,
don't tell you.
you never
By the way, I'm
hear
going to
about
kill
them
you at
with
the
their
end of this interview.
Yeah.
We've shared too much already. There's no more.
I'll tell you more, and I'll kill you. Okay.
And then whatever you want to know, I'll tell you. But you have to die at the end. That's all right.
Oh my God.
That's the rule.
That is pretty cool, man. That's pretty
it's pretty cool. Not too many people. Like I love those things about life. Like having some unique things again. Being on Letterman, getting Ellen to seeing her tell a joke I wrote. These kind of things. I love it. Like looking back. When you have a crappy day sometimes, and you're like, oh God. So life is tough. It's nice to look back and how many people lived on a submarine or we even took a tour of a submarine and I got to live on it and be. I hated it when I was on it, but
I can imagine.
But it's kind of cool now.
I would go crazy, man, if I lived on a freaking submarine. I go nuts. I got to be out and about, do things. Is your wife funny? Did you make her laugh?
Yeah, I definitely make her laugh. But yeah, she makes me laugh too. I mean, she's not. I don't think she's not the get on stage kind of person.
Right.
But yeah, she's definitely funny. Really funny wit and silly. I like that. I like silly.
Exactly.
I value that in a partner. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of the girlfriends I've had, and I've never been married, but the girlfriends. The best thing they look like about guys and me is making them laugh. They
always say that. Yeah,
they look for a guy with a
Women
good
say
sense of
that.
humor.
Yeah, they want a man. That's the number one thing.
And I like girls who make me laugh.
Right.
too. I can't stand boring freaking girls that just sit there. Yeah, could you pass the salt and salad and let's get some water and
Right.
yeah. Would you watch any good shows? No.
Yeah.
Want to see a good movie? No.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Like, yeah, come on, lighten up.
Lighten up, babe. Come on.
Turn it up. Let's get
Turn
some
up.
personality here.
The freaking whack
Yeah.
you. So.
But it's a little overrated. Women say they want a man with a sense of humor,
Yeah.
but sometimes they don't. Like
It's
they
true.
it's
It's
a
true.
certain type of sense of humor, right? They want, like, if, for example, if you give a woman an Oreo cookie with a wad of toothpaste in the middle, I think that's hilarious. They do not think that. They're like, that's funny. You're a jerk. It's a
That's pretty good. Yeah.
sense of humor is subjective.
Yeah,
so, right?
you're right.
So
You're right. That'd
you
be
got it
funny.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Some Pepsodent in the middle
Right,
of it.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly, yeah.
Some Colgate.
I thought you loved sense of humor. What happened? Yeah, now
If you
you're angry.
really want to be a jerk, put spackle in the middle.
Right in the middle, yeah.
Go build a house.
You won't hear anything.
Yeah, you put spackle. Oh my God, man, this is all pretty cool. Now you also were in 336 Condo Comedy, and you hung out with Louis C.K., Dana Gold, and Janine Garofalo.
Well, they did not officially they weren't. I didn't hang out. I've hung out with those people at shows before,
Right.
but at this condo, the condo is a condo in San Francisco that was only comedians living in it for about 20 years. So the first guy that got in there was a comedian. And if you know anything about San Francisco, even to this day, the rents are always going up. It's that kind
Right.
of thing, but it's rent control. So if you're in, you can keep the rent.
Okay.
But they're always jacking it up, and especially during the .com bubbles of the late '90s and early
Right.
2000s. So this guy moved in, I think, in late '80s, I guess. Ron Lynch, and he was on the lease. And even though he moved down here, I don't know if you know Ron Lynch. He's kind of on the scene down here. He
I don't think I
kept
know
his
Ron,
name
yeah.
on the lease and allowed only other comedians to move in, and so the rent stayed very cheap.
Oh, wow.
So there were always 3 or 4 comics there at a time. So over the years, it became not only comedians just living there, great comedians from the San Francisco scene, but also like Dana Gould lived there, like you said. He actually lived there, but they also would let people crash when they came in and
Oh, okay.
out of town. So that's how Louis C.K. slept on the couch there. And,
Oh, wow.
Janine Garofalo, hung out at after parties there, and it was a very kind of cool, famous place. And they actually, there's a big. They finally got booted in, I guess it was probably 2004 or 2005.
Mm-hmm.
The landlord booted him out and was like, "Wow, I could be making 7 times what I've been charging on this if I kick these people out."
Oh, so they finally.
So they found it out, and his way out of it was that the guy on the original lease hadn't even been living there forever. So
Oh.
that was his way to
Yeah.
kick people out. But yeah, so it's kind of a cool, famous place. It's really neat.
Another cool thing you did was, and again, we have a lot in common. You did Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
Did
Were you on it?
Well, I almost got on it.
Oh, okay.
Seriously, I got really close. I made it to the finals.
Oh, wow.
And for some unknown reason, they just ran out of people and whatever.
Yeah.
And it was the show was ending,
Right.
that kind
Oh,
of
was there
thing.
the end of the run?
It was
Yeah.
at the end of the run kind of thing.
Were you staring too hard at the blonde, blue-eyed girls
Yeah,
opening the
yeah.
boxes? And they're like, all
That
right,
could be
John, that might be it.
Yeah,
No deal, John. Sorry.
yeah. The other guy that comes on and says, "Quit staring at the
What's there?
blonde."
You're being creepy with the color.
Deal or no deal, John. Okay, jeez.
You're
One of the
scary to
producers.
those.
But
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I warmed the crowd up when it first started, before it was a big hit.
okay.
So when they were first doing some of the early tape days, as most
How long did you do it
live
for?
shows do it, only a week. They went through.
Oh,
They
wow.
went through like 20 warm up guys. It was
Oh,
such
really?
a train wreck at the beginning. Like they were. It took we shot a show and a half, and it took 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
It was just like, because again, there was this whole thing at the very beginning, people know it and saw it when it was a hit,
Yeah.
like how it was, and there were fans, and the people in the audience were fans. They wanted to come see it. But at the beginning, shows aren't like
Oh,
that. It's a
right.
paid audience.
Oh,
These
right,
are all
right.
actors. They're
That's
slouching. They're like, why are we've been here for 18 hours. This is too long of a day. And they're like, how should we do it? Should the girl walk down like this and open the
Oh,
suitcase?
okay,
Or
okay.
should she do this? So that's why it was just taking way too long. How we go over here? We don't like this.
Right,
Let's do that
right.
again. So, just anyone who's ever worked on a TV or movie set, knows, especially in the beginning, it is whatever the opposite of a poorly oiled machine, an unoiled machine. So
that was
it was
great.
awful.
I loved it when it first started. But God, we're talking 10 years ago now, man.
Oh,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
I remember it started in like 2006.
Was that what it was? Yeah, 5.
Like
I was going to say 2005.
5, 6, right about there. Yeah.
So I did it only a few shows. Like I said, they went through. Listen, when things aren't going, they replace the crew over and over on that thing because they're like, oh, this is what's the problem with it. It's like no,
actually,
you need to be up and running.
Now here's something funny that last year I'm at the Sagebrush Cantina and I'm hanging out there, and who do I see? Howie Mandel. Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
And one of his good friends was Mendoza. John Mendoza.
They're always hanging out. Yeah.
John Mendoza.
John Mendoza was on the set. Yeah, when I was doing.
Yeah, so I hung out and talked to John Mendoza because he knows some friends of mine.
Yeah,
nice guy, man. And I tried to shake hands with Howard in bed.
Right, you were not allowed to.
No way.
He
just did that. Oh, how you doing?
SWAT team came out. How he does the fist bump.
He does the fist bump. He did the fist bump.
But
he was nice. He was hanging out.
I knew how he did the fist bump. Just I'd known how he through comedy. But when someone introduces you to someone, you know what I mean? Like if I was like, hey, this is so-and-so, you just put your hand out like as a,
Exactly.
To shake someone's hand. And then if they make the fist, you bump it, right? Yeah. Exactly. So there's they on Deal or No Deal, when we had been already shooting half a day, and they're like, hey, Howie thinks you're doing a great job. He wants to meet you. So they bring me over, and they're like, Howie, this is Steve. Steve, this is Howie. And I reach my hand out.
Right.
6 people jump in between us.
Oh, really? Oh, geez.
Howie does the fist bump. Howie does that. And it's like, all right, relax. Calm down.
I can't believe that.
Yeah. So then I started wiping the back of my hand on stuff, on dirty stuff, like getting germs on my face. I was like, all right, now I'm going to get him sick for this.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I know. It was pretty funny and hanging out with him. Yeah, he did.
Super fun guy.
Yeah, nobody would, he just looked at me and did the fist bump. I kind of knew he was going to do that.
Right, of
course. I already
course.
knew him, so yeah. And you also opened for the troops. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I made 8 trips to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Wow.
Over the past, 13 years.
That's amazing.
Performed for the troops over there, and then overseas in like Japan, Korea as well. But amazing to be able to go to a place where in Iraq and Afghanistan, where those guys are seeing awful, terrible things, for every single day, and haven't seen anything from home, and to be able to bring a piece of home to them, and then make them laugh and forget where they are for an hour is, amazing. Again, just another great thing to highlight.
That is
an honor to go and do it, and especially since I was in the Navy myself, I know.
Well, that's right. So you can relate to it.
Yeah, I can relate a little bit that the boredom they go through. So it's nice.
Wow, that's pretty great. And then of course you were on Letterman, and he's a pretty cool guy.
You don't really get to hang out. He
shy,
was very
right?
reclusive, and so doesn't come and meet you before the show. And that's kind of the fun. It was my dream. I mean, that's what my movie's about. Is dying to do Letterman. Was to be on that show. And so when I finally made it. You don't meet him before the show. He doesn't come over or say anything or welcome. It's great to be having you on the show. We'll see you out there. So you don't meet him until you finish. As a comic, you don't meet him until you finish your set. So I didn't even think about it because I didn't want to be nervous. But so when I finally dropped my last word of the joke and the crowd's applauding, I'm like, finally, smiling. I'm like, oh my God, now I get to meet Dave,
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it would seem like a while. It took him a while to come over. So it was like, the whole time just smiling and like he's probably walking up behind me right now.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. So again, like a comedy hero of mine. So amazing.
Wow. And then plus, so it's pretty cool. Did Mark Maron's podcast?
I did. In fact, I went on his. So he obviously does his What the Fuck podcast, WTF, out of his garage.
Yeah.
But he does some live shows as well. So I was part of one of the live shows he did here in L.A.
Okay.
Me, Eddie Pepitone, a couple other comics he had on, and
that's it, Eddie Pepitone.
Yeah. Oh, is that who you were
talking
about?
Yes, that's what
we were talking about before the show.
That's who he was. Eddie Pepitone. Yes, I know Eddie.
He's awesome.
Right. Yeah. He did Mark's show with Fraser Smith.
He's always
Right. But I didn't know that. Again, I've known Eddie for 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's funny. And then Eddie Pepitone, screaming all the time and everything. So he's funny. And you just told me you hung out with Amy Schumer and did work with her.
Well, I got to work with Amy Schumer. It was kind of neat. She just hosted Saturday Night Live this week, but it was kind of neat. I saw her right when her stardom really started skyrocketing. It was right after she had just done her first Comedy Central roast, which was for Steve-O from Jackass fame.
Right.
And she had a couple really hilarious jokes and a couple of really controversial ones about one of the Jackass guys had just died, and she made a joke about it, and there was a big flack about it. So it kind of went viral. So at one point she was getting famous and people loved her for how great she was on the roast, but at the same time she was getting death threats and it was this crazy thing. But I worked with her in San Francisco that week after it aired. So all of a sudden, she had played this club a bunch of times and done well. People came out but once this hit, that roast, all of a sudden everything changed. They added shows, they were packing, it was sold out immediately. It was this thing. Really? It was kind of neat to see her at the beginning of this thing, and then months later she had the comedy. She made the deal that she had the Amy Schumer show on Comedy Central.
Right.
Now she's got a movie and everything. So it's kind of cool to see her at that time.
Yeah, she came pretty big, pretty quick.
It was nice. She did.
Did she
last comic standing?
Right,
but
right.
Even talking to her that week, she didn't win. I think she came in third or something.
Okay.
And she talking to her that week, she's like, "Oh, I was a very young comic when I did that. I only had 10, 15 minutes." So that show though gave her enough to kind of go around and learn to do comedy, so that she could become a real comic versus just I have 5 or 10 minutes kind of thing. So she's one of those people that really took hold of what was given her. She went out and made the best of it, and learned how to do it. Versus just being people kind of know me from this. I don't need really to put the work in now. But she really put the work in and became great.
The work in,
yeah, she's great.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Well, that's me. You've had a pretty amazing life. That's pretty great. But now we talk about some of the things that happen to us comedians, health-wise, and this is why I wanted to bring you on my show, is that you had this great things, and then in 2005, you find out that you have liver cancer.
Yep, yeah. In fact, it's weird. I have tumors that are cancerous on my liver. It's so weird, how they delineate this. It was actually intestinal cancer that spread to my liver. So, again, as anyone, a layperson would say, oh, you have cancer and it's in your liver, you have liver cancer. But it's officially intestinal cancer that metastasized and spread, to my liver. And that's I still have the tumors to this day on my on my liver that I'm kind of, have to constantly get checked up on and scanned and, watched to see if they, either attack my liver or grow or that kind of thing. But yeah, I was coming home from a gig at the Improv actually out in Brea. And was with a friend, and I was like, hey, I got a pain in my side. You mind driving? And so he started driving, and then I was like, I got to get in the back seat. And, it just kept getting worse. And finally they took me, they thought my appendix had burst. And they said, we're going to remove your appendix. They put me under, and when I woke up, there was a different doctor there. And he introduced himself as an oncologist. And I was like, that's not good. And he said, hey, your appendix was fine. We took it out anyways, but it was fine. But when we were in there, we noticed, you have tumors all over your liver. And knowing the type of tumors they are, they probably didn't start there. So they traced it back to my intestines, and I had a bunch of surgeries and, stuff. And since then, since 2005, they've been tracking what's on my liver. But at that point,
but how did you know that? How did you know he had it? You just felt something, and
there's still no explanation for that pain I had. They thought it was appendicitis, and that's why they went in and saw it.
So you just had pain, and then you went inside, and
and when they cut me open, they noticed that there were tumors all there, all over my liver, and So and the diagnosis for they're called carcinoid tumors. Was worst case scenario was 5 years. You could live with that. There's so it was like, wow, my early 30s, and all of a sudden considering, wow, do I only have 5 years to live? And if I'm not a worst case scenario guy, but if that's the case, how do I want to spend that 5 years? What do I want to do to make that? And like I said, I had a great life already, kind of some of those great things I told you, been to Iraq and Afghanistan. I'd been on the, comedy. I'd made a living in comedy for 6 years at that point, full time. in the Navy, all these cool things, seen the world. But when you all of a sudden really have to consider, wow, what if you really only have 5 years left? What are you going to do?
Right.
So there were a few things. I ended up getting married. My girlfriend, who I'd only known 6 months at that point, I don't know if she stuck with me. I don't know.
That's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Great.
A woman in her early 30s,
most women don't.
Not knowing if that person they're with is going to be, even if
Right.
she loved me, I might not be around in 5 years, and then she wasted her entire
Right.
30s,
Right.
which are obviously big years for women as far as if
Right.
you want to start a family.
Right.
But she stuck with me, so yeah, we got married, and my other big thing was I got into comedy, as I told you, to be on the David Letterman show. That was my goal, to get there. And I had kind of just been hoping it would happen, and thinking it'll happen one day. Someday it'll happen.
Yeah.
Look, you
That's
go
great.
you go
I was
out and
thinking,
you make a name for yourself. You're a comedian. You go out and you be funny, and then people will be like, "Hey, you should check in over here." Or someone sees you, "Oh, come do this, come do this."
Right.
That's how it happens, just
Right.
word of mouth. But
Right.
all of a sudden, once I realized I only had 5 years, I was like, "Well, maybe I can't wait for this to happen anymore. I have to make it happen. I have to chase it." So,
Right.
I started really chasing it, and kind of the whole name of that idea was I'm dying to do Letterman. It was
Right.
kind of ironically titled thing.
It's funny, dying to do Letterman.
Dying to do Letterman. And a couple here in Los Angeles who are friends of mine, they're filmmakers, and they said, "Hey, this would make a great documentary. We'd love to follow you, see what happens. If you get on it, if you die, if you don't, what unfurls on this trek of yours to get on Letterman." So that's how the movie got made of Dying to do Letterman. And so but that's that's it.
It's great. So then you end up being on there. And then how long did it take to produce it and put it together?
Well, yeah, it took. First of all, the hard part of producing it was there was only 2 outcomes to the movie. Well, I guess there could have been 3. We never considered. It could either I got on or I died. Or I guess the third option was Letterman retires. But luckily, Letterman. This was 5 years before Letterman was even talking about retiring.
Right.
So I had to get on the show. Like I said, I had to get their attention. It took almost 5 years.
What year was
worst
that?
case 5 years scenario.
09,
I got on
right?
in 2009. So yeah, It took 4+ years to get their attention and then prove to them that I was funny enough to be on the show. And then in the movie you see me, I did everything I could. I reached out to other people who had been on Letterman, asked them how did they get it, and you realize Letterman, especially now that he's retired, how much he meant to so many guys. Like in the movie, I interview Brian Regan, Jim Gaffigan, Ray Romano, Kevin Nealon, all these guys, and they talk about.
Oh, you interviewed all those guys?
Yeah, they're all in the movie. Yeah,
okay.
What they meant, what Letterman meant to them.
Ray Romano,
Letterman. I mean, Letterman made
Letterman made my career.
He made him.
Yeah.
He produced the show. It was him. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone loves Raymond. Thanks, Dave.
So, wow.
So
That's pretty cool.
it's pretty amazing. Yeah. So it was incredible. So and then after I got on Letterman, then we knew that was the end of the film. You know what I mean? Again, there was only a couple ways the movie could end. So once we had that, then it probably took about 1.5, 2 years till we were able to edit it and get everything where we wanted and started. Yeah, took it to film festivals and showed it at theaters and that kind of thing.
That's great. So you end up producing it again and interview some great comedians. Jim Gaffigan. I mean, God, he's huge. I actually talked to Jim when I first moved to L.A.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. So somehow I met him.
Yeah.
And I talked to him on the phone, and he asked me where certain clubs are in L.A. Isn't that funny? It's yeah. And it was really cool.
Yeah, super nice guy. I mean,
really nice guy, man.
Every one of those guys I named. I mean, that's the nice guy list of comedians. Again, Regan, Gaffigan, Romano, Nealon. You know what I mean? Can't what a string of great guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So then it got released into the theaters.
Right, showed in theaters. It was it was on the list for best documentaries of the year. It got shown at the Doc Fest in New York and L.A. And then it went shown on iTunes, and after it ran that, it was shown on. They were showing it on planes for a while on I think American Airlines. Yeah,
can you see it on HBO or anything like that?
You can see it. You can see it on iTunes now. It's kind of at the end of its theaters and
can you rent it through Netflix
or
anything like that?
Yeah, Amazon Prime. Just put Dying to do Letterman and all the options of where you could watch it.
Oh, okay.
Will come up, yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So you got the ended with that. Now, how did your parents and family react to you having the cancer?
Yeah,
and all that.
I think shocked. I mean, I don't think anyone knows how to act in that situation. It's one of those things we only know if someone else in your family has gone through it already, which no one had at that point in my family. So I don't think anyone knew how to react. I think they were all very just shocked.
Wasn't it expensive to get it?
Oh my God! Yeah,
how did you come up with the money?
I didn't.
And how did you get through it all?
I didn't. I was a comedian, so I didn't have.
I was gonna say,
I luckily had some insurance, but it was bad insurance. But I tell you what, this is a crazy thing. I had a little thing on my insurance that was when I signed up for it, I didn't even know, because of course I was in my early 30s, late 20s probably when I got this insurance. On my own, because I didn't work for a company. I'm a comedian.
Right.
But there was a benefit that if I ever got cancer, they would give me $10,000. Like there was a
really?
Yeah, like to help pay bills and that kind of thing. It was just a little side thing on that thing. There was probably 4 things there, but one of them was cancer.
Oh, wow.
And so when I got this thing, when I got cancer, even though I had insurance and $10,000 benefit thing, I still was $50,000 in debt within 6 months.
Oh, my God.
And so and then add on to that the upkeep over a couple of years. Yeah, after 5 years, we had to file for bankruptcy from all the medical bills.
Oh boy,
it was crazy. And again, listen, if you know anything about bankruptcy, it's something like a large majority. It's like 80% of all bankruptcies are due to medical bills.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
I believe it, and you're right.
It's crazy. So listen, the last thing you want, not only now are you sick, now you got to worry about, now you're stressed out. Like anyone who knows anything about health will tell you, well, you got to rest and feel good. No, now you've got people calling you all day and all night about paying these bills,
Oh.
And and then you got to make more appointments, and you're like, wow, I can't even pay for the ones I've had already. I can't, And again, listen, things are a little better now. Obviously,
so you're in good health now. And
I feel great, and I have much better insurance.
You sound great.
Thank you. I feel great. That's lucky. After that first year, because they took care of I did surgery to take out the source in my intestines of the cancer. So now it's just kind of upkeep on the liver and making sure that those tumors that are all over my liver don't grow or attack the liver. So it's just scans and that kind of thing. So after that first year, again, I'm not what you expect, like the typical. You'd never know I had cancer just meeting me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not like laid up in a bed with a bandana around my head or anything like that.
No, that's great. Yeah, exactly. So you still have.
So I'm very lucky. Yeah, very, very lucky.
You still go on do comedy, you travel, and
lucky. Yeah, that for the most part, my life has been pretty normal.
Did you have any other health issues besides that?
No, I mean nothing. The usual stuff. I got a little cold last week, but nothing bad. I feel bad. You name all the people at the beginning. I was like, I need to go do drugs.
I'm telling you, man.
I need to go to Auschwitz or something. I feel like things have been too easy for me. I've been skating here.
It's like you've gone through nothing compared to these other guys, man. God, you just got through cancer. Who cares?
Right. What's a little wind?
What's a little wind? Try going through that, right?
Yeah.
Try getting stabbed and mugged and rape and all that kind of
feel bad,
things.
Yeah. I got to go get into some shit and come back. I apologize. I'll have a better story next time.
Now, I have some issues also. I told you I had problems with breathing for a long time. Man,
that's an important one, too. I think.
I mean, I started doing like 4-way nasal spray and Afrin and things like that.
Jeez.
Constantly, all day and all night. It was horrible. And I don't know why, but it literally for years, 10, almost 20 years, starting like 17, 18, 19 years old, something like that, you know? It was crazy. Every half an hour, it's like, I felt like I was doing liquid cocaine, you know?
Right. What fixed it finally?
I felt like I was Scarface, yeah, how'd you doing, Give me some freaking 4-way, you cockroach. You can't breathe? Okay, I'll make you freaking breathe. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
line them up.
I'm telling you, seriously. So, then I had surgery on my sinuses.
I see.
then I took these medication pills to stop it. I just went to a doctor.
Yeah.
Quite, obviously a long time, 17, 18 years ago. And he said, I told him what it was. And he said, try this.
Yeah.
So I tried it, and I started taking these little things like take 4 this today, 3, 2, 1 a week. But after like a week,
Right.
it stopped it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I never used it again. I mean, if I have a cold,
Sure. But just this thing that was ongoing,
but this is
such a big
ongoing.
part of your life, and then
Yeah,
it's gone.
ongoing.
Huh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was constantly doing it.
Yeah.
And then I found out that it gets addicting. And I ran into other people that had the same thing. So
it was something bad, and then just the other stuff was just making it worse rather than helping.
Right.
at
It
some
was
point.
helping
Wow,
it.
that's
Then
crazy.
it made it worse.
Yeah.
It made it worse. And now, of course, when you get older now, it's like my eyes,
Yeah.
How you doing there, Steve?
It's always separating.
Yeah, I need some glasses. Anybody got any glasses where you can see this guy? Come on. Damn it. So, that's really. Then you started a pretty cool thing called Laugh Strong.
Yeah. Well, that's early on when I the cancer stuff. There was so much. I met all these. I quickly realized after that first year of all the surgeries and stuff like that. When now the upkeep of the cancer stuff was just hoping that these tumors didn't attack my liver and stuff. That I was living a pretty easy day. Not easy, but like I was back to normal. My day-to-day life, besides having scans every 3 months and check to that, like again after the surgeries and stuff. So I would go to my oncologist and I'd see all these other people who, were much more affected by they weren't able to their day-to-day routine was completely different now. You know what I mean? Like people younger than me, or you know what I mean? They can't walk. They're being helped everywhere. They're ongoing radiation and chemotherapy. So yeah, it started a thing called Laugh Strong, and it was kind of a spin-off of the idea.
It's still around, right? It's still around, or?
Well, someone else took it over.
Okay.
Is actually a religious guy up in Canada. He had beat me. I started the thing, and then he had beat me to getting the name of it, and he started this thing of it. But yeah, the idea was to
still the same thing though. You said comedian.
Comedians using comedy and laughter to help and raise money and stuff like that. And so now I just go out again. Like I said, he has the name and uses stuff. I just lend my time to cancer groups and stuff like that, and they'll do fundraisers and stuff. And I go out.
So
and
you
make
still
people
do it?
laugh.
You still do it and everything? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great, man. Yeah, I'd love to be part of that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
man.
it's awesome. Again, listen, you feel like you give back. It's the same thing like the military shows. Like, well, I was on that other side. It's nice to.
How much
give
have you
back with
raised?
Some laughter. Oh,
Do
I
you
don't
have-
know.
do you
Yeah,
have an
I
idea,
haven't. No, I haven't tracked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, again, like I said, now it's.
But back then, what did you do? Do you have any idea?
No,
or?
no idea.
Okay.
I mean, again, I didn't have it. It was a couple of years. I don't know.
Oh,
Probably,
okay.
You know,
Okay.
about $20,000 or $30,000. I don't know. I
Oh,
have no
okay.
idea. Yeah, I didn't.
Hey, listen, if you raise $5, that's fine. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's this whole principle.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Listen, yeah, it didn't.
You
It
should
didn't
try.
It did. Obviously, Laugh Strong was a takeoff on Live Strong, the Lance Armstrong thing that used to be big. We've all forgot about Lance Armstrong now, but it was the
Live Strong
humor
was
takeoff.
mentioned.
But it didn't become Live Strong. Like where they're raising hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Yeah,
my gosh.
That's the NFL didn't start wearing pink uniforms in my honor. Right? It wasn't.
So you got through all this, amazing things, and you got through the cancer and all this, and your mom, your brothers, sister's still around. My dad passed away also like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
So your dad passed away. But after you go through all this, as my listeners know, we always end up with a positive, inspirational, motivational thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Frazier said this last week was amazing. That not sure if you're a religious guy, but he said, everyone, you should just go for it, and God has a plan for everybody. It's pretty cool. I've always thought about that.
Yeah,
it is true. He makes you famous in His time, not yours.
Yeah.
And I'm really into Oprah. I watched the Super Soul Sunday. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I love
You're
that.
all over on.
I just watched it last night, a brand new one.
Yeah.
With the Malaya lady from the girl.
Right. Well, yeah. She's awesome.
I am.
Yeah.
And interviewed her, and she had another new show, Super Soul Sunday, and interviewed a bunch of other movie stars and things. They're all saying, basically, Morgan Freeman, Billy Bob Thornton. They just said, go for it. Spirituality is there.
Yeah.
Be happy and all that. But they said they never expected to be stars, never expected to be doing this, talking 20, 30 years later. I mean, look what happened to Oprah, when she was growing up.
Yeah.
She was flat poor, broke.
Right.
And just wanted to get into journalism, and look what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So, we always end up with an inspirational thing by, again, what Fraser said, and Gene Pompa, and a lot of other ones. So, what do you have to say at the end?
I'm not a religious guy, but yeah, I think there's just life lessons you see over and over, and I think they tie in with religion and that you don't have to be on either side of that to see it. But there's a couple things, just life lessons you learn, not only from yourself, like you said, seeing other people, and a couple of those are that always hit me. I've learned through this cancer stuff. It's not how much time you have; it's what you do with it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And the other one is if you're not chasing your dreams, you're already dead.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
What's it going to matter in the end? What else? All the BS you're doing. So
yeah, like who cares?
Might as well do what you want if you're not going to be here, whether there's a God or not. This is going to end at some point.
Yeah, that's true. My book says this is that all religions are great.
Yeah.
You believe in a higher spirit. Whether it's God or anything else, it's just keep going, just follow your dreams. And you're right. And I mentioned this in my other shows, that I meet so many people that don't go after their dreams. So many.
Yeah.
And when I tell them I am, I'm not going to lie to you, they get jealous.
Sure, of course.
And they get jealous of my other friends that are following their dreams too.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about you inspire other people when you do it.
Yeah, I try to inspire people.
Right.
I tell them, just go,
they get jealous
just
and
do
they're like,
it.
you know what, I should be doing it. And then they inspire others.
Exactly.
It's like
I tell
a weed.
them.
Yeah, it's great.
If I've told people, you wrote a book, John? Yeah, write a book. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I've had people got writing books now because of me.
Yeah.
And they want to get into stand-up comedy. Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. Okay, do it. Podcast, do it. Mm-hmm. Okay, just do it.
Right, that's it. Yeah.
Gosh, just jump in and do it.
Yep.
Hopefully, it becomes great, and even if you don't succeed, who cares?
Yeah, no, it's the
did
act of doing chasing the dream, and you don't want
to dream.
Whatever end there is, you don't want to look back and be like, I wish I would have done that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But again, Oprah and a lot of other major people like Dr. Wayne Dyer, unfortunately, he passed away.
Just passed away.
Passed away. I love that guy. And Jim Rohn and all these other motivational speakers. And basically they said, do it. Just do it. Even if you fail, you'll learn something and you'll do it again. And after you do it enough times, and you're going to end up winning and be successful at it. Yes, you go through a lot of crap. You go through a lot of ups and downs. Yeah. You'll get fired. You won't get the job you want, the actor. You won't book the pilot, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, comedy, you won't get into that. But you're at least trying it, and after a while, it'll happen.
Yeah, well,
everything happens for a reason.
And I'd just like to say that's I don't think it matters if it happens. You know what I mean? Like, there's only one Oprah.
Right.
Like you can't do what Oprah did. And you're going to turn into Oprah. You can't be like, oh well, I'm going to believe what Oprah believes, and then I'll be Oprah, or what I mean? Like there's a lot of luck in all these people. It's not just because they believe in God, or you know what I mean? Like there's something.
They say,
but what's great is your life is better when you're chasing your dreams. So it doesn't even if you don't make the dream, your life is better. It doesn't matter that you become famous. You know what I mean? Like if the success never comes, you'll look back and be happier. You'll live a happier life because you were chasing the dream, whether the success comes or not.
It's true. It's absolutely true. And there's a thing on my bathroom mirror, And I got these inspirational, motivational things, and I read it every day. There's a great one I found about a year ago from Jim Carrey.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey was one of my motivational guys that got me into impressions. As you know, I do impressions, you know. And I loved him. And I still love him. And one day I would like to meet him. Unfortunately, what happened to his girlfriend, you know, a couple weeks ago, I was pretty bummed out about that. But he has this thing on that he said, if everyone thought being rich and famous was going to make them happy, they're wrong. You have to be happy inside anyway.
Right, yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's a guy who's rich and famous.
And this guy's rich and famous.
So take it from him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's rich and famous.
Yep.
You know, and he's been rich and famous for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's like in his 50s now. So,
yep.
But again, look what happens. You know, unfortunately, that's what happens.
Yeah, so you got, again, the success is in chasing it itself. Yeah. That's the success, not,
You know, but if you can make money doing it, of course, even if you make less money doing it, as opposed to something else, just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, happiness is success. Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
That's
being happy, inside and out, being happy. That's the whole thing. That's where you have to, you know, share that with everybody. You know, so on that note, I just want to say once again, thank you so much, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, John. It was a fun time.
Yeah, it was really great, man. You're one of the best guests I've had so far. And you had a good life. You've gotten through it, and you got sick and cancer and all that, but you got through it. And now you're married 10 years, and you got some great things going on. Do you want to mention anything that you're working on right now?
No, just check. Yeah, you can see my comedy if you put in Steve Mazan, Mazan.
Okay.
Internet, you see a bunch of my videos, my stand up on TV.
Yep.
If you're doing, I do a lot of corporate stuff. You know, doing motivational talks and TED Talk I did. You can see that. It all comes up. Put my name into the.
I know you did TED Talk. That's great.
I did too. So
really?
Put my name in the internet. It'll all come up. You can find I Do Letterman as well and everything like that. So would love to see people at a club or perform at their corporate event or whatever. So
and actually you can see. I'm going to actually put your video on my website.
Oh, sweet.
www.comicskarma.com. Okay, and of course you can read my book, what'salittlewin.com, all that. But yeah, you'll be able to, I'm going to put your video on there.
Great, yeah.
And of course you'll be on social media and Facebook. You'll put it all over your
web,
once it's all done and all that. So, but that's it, people. That's a fantastic show. Again, just follow your dreams. You never know till you try. And then when you make it, it's like, oh, I did it. I listened to John. I listened to Steve. Now look I'm more happy. And that's what it's all about. Mm-hmm. So we will see you next week on Comics Karma. Thank you again for listening. Spread the word, the positivity, and God bless.